got a dead heat. I think we've got a dead heat.
It's going to work out for Wheelie again.
Oh, yes. Oh, that corner is far.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're 3 wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're 2 wide coming up through the cutting.
Oh, he's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's caught around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil, bring it home.
Oh, Showman's got the run.
Stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the lead on the
Left side down the hill. Captain's got his nose in front just barely.
He's definitely on the side.
Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have 3 wide. Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep on the brakes on the Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
Fourth to first.
What a move.
Yes, howdy punters, and welcome to round 3 of Wheel to Wheel Racing. Here we are on the day of Daytona, at Daytona, ready for our own enduro. We've got some of the lads in NASCAR liveries. We've got it all. Hopefully it's going to be a bit of night and dark as well. And joining us for this expedition, we have on comms tonight, Havoc. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Looking forward to the shenanigans that's about to entertain us.
Yes, there are going to be a lot of them, no doubt. And also in the comm box, we have Armands. Armands, is this the first time for you?
Surely it's the first time, Dodge.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Hell of a night to take the cherry. Daytona, it is going to be a long one. First time oval track for wheel-to-wheel racing. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle it. But I tell you what, we might get out there straight away and get these engines started. What do you reckon? You want to kick off the quali, Havoc?
Yep, I'll put it up and off we go.
Nice.
Drivers!
Certainly look forward to some of the parties, and yeah, I think they will be entertaining. And there we have it, they should be open.
And they'll be heading out. Okay. What are we expecting tonight, boys? Big things, little things, not much, all over the shop, action galore.
I think it'll come down to a fair bit of fuel saving. Definitely a bit of strategy. If you can get tucked in behind someone, save a bit of fuel, that can make a big difference. And are they going to change tyres in the pits? When do they do that? So, shall be interesting.
Yep, certainly. And who's going to team up with who? You need a bump buddy. If you don't have that, you're going backwards fast.
Yeah, I think the big thing tonight we've all found out is this is definitely a race about fuel, not so much tyres. This oval doesn't exactly wear the tyres very quick, but the fuel, there's that many different cars out there that not all of them are hitting the same fuel numbers without having to go into a fuel map, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, certainly. You might find one of our former champions struggling along tonight, looking desperately for a bump buddy in Division 1. But in this division, we have one Porsche, I believe, which is Boz the 777. He'll be looking for someone to team up with. And yeah, they should hopefully get someone and get dragged along.
Okay, who we got leading at the moment? Looks like Troy's out there in first. By the sound of it, he's in the Mazda RX Vision. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that one get around the track this week, so I'm not sure what it's going to be like on its fuel around here, but it is a little quick beast. We do have the problem with a fair few of the quick cars seem to top out at a speed that, is less than desirable. Even though they're quick up and to that speed, it just stops dead. I don't know if the Mazda is one of them.
Yeah, not sure about top speed in Mazda there. Most cars are topping out around the 280 mark, 285. Watch out for the Suzukis. They can do 290 on their own with no slip, and basically If they can keep that car on the track, they've got the win. As we see Troy come across the line first, and Straw's taken pole position at the moment with .011 in front of Soulslayer.
Yeah, is there anyone that you can see out there on the track that is using a bump buddy or some teamwork to get the quali in?
Yeah,
Baker Boys having a bit of a crack there behind Brutal. Interesting to note, both in the McLarens as well, so definitely a bit of strategy going on between those three.
Looks like a third one coming up behind as well, so there could be some team action happening there.
Yeah, but there's a very nice Straw and Palmer and Slayer are going for your best, trying to figure out who's going to bump who here.
Do you think the quali's going to make a difference? It is a very long race around here. Do they want to just get out in front and stay out in front? Is that what they're looking for?
I think they might be looking to stay within the pack. The main part of the race will be decided unfortunately, I believe in the first 5 laps. The practices we've had, 4-length races we've done in the past couple of days, we struggle because of the lack of experience on this track and this sort of racing. We struggle to get the first 5 laps without carnage. So yeah, I believe this will not matter too much, just the first 5 laps.
Flicking through now, I'm on Soul Slayer and not sure who's behind him there, but we seem to have groups of 2 following each other here, so there are definitely little factions forming. Not necessarily teammates either.
Yep, we've got a 5-some going on here between Straw, Soul Slayer, Palmer and Winnie there. Yeah, it's getting pretty packed to the back there.
Definitely interesting to see that trio, Brutal, Baker and Broken Spoke. The top 2 are obviously Brutal and Baker at the moment. Spoke's obviously got a little disadvantage with that auto, but once in top gear, he's should be able to keep up with the guys quite well. But yeah, interesting to see the trio's working really well for him.
Well, Spoke's a bit closer this time around. Hopefully he might be, he's definitely getting a boost there. Almost out of slip with that one. So this should bring his time up a bit so he can catch up with these boys. Seems to be holding his own on the outside. I'm impressed with that McLaren holding out there. Oh no, they seem to be broken up though. We've got Brutal Euthrolic has jumped in the middle of these guys. So they're 1st, 3rd and 5th at the moment, the TDR team boys.
Oh, I didn't realise they were your teammates, mate.
Oh, really? Didn't realise at all.
Yeah, there's nothing obvious there with these new liveries floating around.
Who we got hiding down the back? We seem to be missing, I think Ash is usually in this division. So I'm not sure if Molten Ash is supposed to be here tonight. I may be wrong. And we've reached the checkered flag. That's quali over and done with. So, boys, we're going to be... well, you know, the funny thing is, the way those guys have finished, that means they should all be behind one another.
Spoke just got up into 3rd just there on his final lap.
Oh, well, he's gone and screwed that. He's fired.
Still starts beyond Brutal.
Yeah, nice to know you're talking about next season's contracts already.
And we are quite a way away. Next season isn't until July this year. This is a big season we've got here. Okay, so with that quali, they're just waiting for the host to start the race, and then they will be out and running. So we've got Brutal. So yeah, Baker and Broken Spoke will be side by side here. Going to be very interesting. I think Euthrolic may get the jump in that thing at the start. But Broken Spoke tends to launch that McLaren pretty well too.
Yeah, certainly when when the flag drops and you've got to go, let's just make sure that you've got your pedal to the metal, because you will get left behind.
Okay, I'm not sure if we're having a glitch here. He might be waiting for tyres or something. Your race hasn't started. I'm not suffering a glitch here, am I?
Yeah, not on my screen. We're still waiting. There's no movement here, so yeah, we're just waiting.
Are you boys? Oh, here we go. And a rolling start for the first time to note too. That's something that's going to be very interesting. We haven't had it before in wheel to wheel since I can remember. Okay. Attention, we've started up. I don't know how long he set the rolling start for, and I'm not sure you can. I'm sure it won't be too long. So we've got Brutal TDR at the start. Here we go.
Flags in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing, boys.
And there we go. We've launched, and Euthrolic is right up behind Brutal already. It's left a little bit of a gap back to Baker and Spoke, but Baker is catching up pretty damn quick in that slip.
Yeah, suddenly.
Palmer and Soulslayer trying to go side by side. Interesting, and you've got Troy coming up behind Soulslayer to give him a little tap. It's worked out well for him.
Yeah, they're all over the shop back there. There is a bit of lag. I can see a bit of side-to-side action in that car coming up behind Broken Spoke and Baker, but they're definitely coming into a tight group, getting bashed around just a little. It's a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be, that's for sure.
Yeah, Broken got a bump from Baker Boy and he's staying low. What's the rest of the team? And the rest of the field have gone high.
Troy's trying to split both of these guys up the front.
Yeah, he's trying to force his way back in there, and he's managed to get back in the train. Straw's being hung out to dry, but he's got a bump there from Palmer, and he's staying high. The two of them looking as if they're going to want to stay high here, but no. Straw drops back in. Palmer's going to give him another bump here, and off he goes again.
We've got one that's dropped right off the back. That's in trouble back there is Evil One. He's what's he driving around in? Is that a Genesis?
Yes, Hyundai
yeah, he's
Genesis.
in the Hyundai Genesis. So I think he's going to struggle to catch up from way back there. Unfortunately, it's going to be a tough race for him. I can see his time just dropping so quickly. So those boys in that big field are just going to leave him for dead.
Yeah, it's Bozza's in front of him, but if Bozza doesn't manage to hold on to the back of this pack and he's dropping off at a fast rate now, he's kind of dropping off. He'd do well to drop back with Evil One and work together to push themselves as a pair back into the pack there.
Absolutely, that Porsche, once it drops out, it hits a brick wall, so it's going to be tough for them. Looking up the front, we'll just back up. Sorry, Armands, I was just going to say the TDR boys have hit their groove.
We definitely seen in practice yesterday. A couple of lads dropped off the pack, but they come back, and it took them about 9 laps, but they got back up to the lead pack, and they ended up doing really well in a practice race. So it is possible. You've just got to work with a teammate.
You've got to see, I'm interested to see what Troy's going to do here, whether he's going to try and just use these guys up for all that they're worth, or try and take advantage of it now and then. He could split the boys. That'll make it a bit tricky for him, give him a challenge.
Yeah, just keep an eye on this front pack. Troy's, he's just looking for somewhere to get him, but then your boys are keeping tight at the front there, nose to tail.
Yeah, look, it is a hard track. We've seen all week, especially cornering. There's a bit of a glitch with this track that every car, no matter what you're in, gets bouncy on the corners. So you really do have to be careful right up the under the wing on corners. One little wrong move and you're going to send someone into the wall, and to you you won't think you've done it, but on the other screen you're actually hitting the guy in the quarter panel. So just got to be careful. I hope the guys realise if they just back off a bit in corners, it's going to be the safest way to get around.
So I take this as a bit of team orders up the front here, Dodgy?
I can honestly say I'm not racing this week. I have been on track once just to see what it's like. What these guys are doing is all their own work. There's no orders coming from us.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, as you see back here in 7th and 6th, Winnie is working with Soulslayer as a nice little pair to try and get back into the pack and get back into the top group of action.
Winnie in the Future Studios car, a new team this season with Suit Lad as the team owner. That car is actually based on one of the cars that were just recently at the livery at the Bathurst 12 Hour, which a few of the wheel-to-wheel boys were at. It was an awesome weekend, and it was great to see that car in the flesh as well.
Yeah, it certainly is very pretty looking, and certainly, yep, you'll notice it on the field every time.
And you've got your Throlic coming up behind him in his Superflow livery as well. Is he in a Mazda as well, by the look of it? How are we looking on fuel there, boys? We're up to 7 laps now. Are there any that seem to be using fuel a lot more than others, or as I go back up to the pointy end?
Palmer's used a little bit more than most of the others. As we would expect, the McLarens are around the same. And yeah, Troy's around the same as the McLarens. Heading back to Palmer, Palmer's significantly more. I don't know what fuel map he's using now, but significantly more. And then, yeah, Stroll and Winnie about the same, and going all the way back to the back of the field. They're
interesting.
Pretty much, yeah.
Straw just jumped Winnie and Soulslayer, and Winnie's just tagging along with him. I'm not sure if Soul's trying to keep up there, but yeah, I'm not sure if they hit him all or what was going on, but he's definitely dropped right back.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing actually, missing Maltmash from this race. He was in the Suzuki, and I was so keen to see that car race around here. That Suzuki is doing times by itself that a lot of these cars can't do with a bump buddy. So it's a damn shame he didn't make it. I reckon it would have been a great night for Ash.
Yeah, moving into lap 9 now of the 73. You expect the guys to start coming in between laps 18 and 20 for fuel, somewhere around there. For their first stop to take on board, I would say just fuel at this rate. Most would have started on hards, I believe. There's only one or two. Yeah, there's literally only 2 cars on medium tyres there, so.
It's Evil and Troy.
Yeah, you've got Euthrolic, Winnie and Souls that are definitely working together. Hopefully Souls is happy to just stay on the back there in that Corvette. The AMG and the Corvette should be closely matched around here, if I recall rightly. I thought the AMG would do a little better, but it just didn't quite have that top end. I was really shocked with when we were testing cars and tested the McLaren, we didn't really think it'd do any good around here, and we didn't think it was doing any good around here. We didn't choose it based on this track, and it was really only when we started, when the boys started practicing this week, that they went, hold on, this is pretty quick around here. So as we flick back through, we've still got from Macca to Bozza a 3-second gap, which is, I don't think that's going to improve at all for those guys, unfortunately. That Porsche is going to have too much of a hard time to catch that. I can see the time just getting further and further as we speak. Same with Evil One as well. He's a further 7 seconds back from Bozza. So they're running a very lonely race back there. If the way it's going, they're going to have to wait for some fuel stops, and hopefully that'll put them back in the mix with a fuel stop to get them start jumping up the grid a bit.
Yeah, Straw, Winnie and Soulslayer are a good 7 seconds behind and still falling a little bit further back as well from the lead group, the lead pack there. So, and the lead pack just looking a bit jittery and messy there as we have a look at the top end of the field. And there's a bit of movement up and down. Baker Boy's a bit all over the shop.
Can't believe Palmer's used so much fuel in comparison to anyone else.
What's he looking on back there?
It's definitely one thing that we found in practice this week was if you don't pit with someone at the same time, you'll lose that chance of a slipstream and then you're on your own.
So these teams are definitely in chat discussing everything, and when they've got a pit, I'd have to imagine then, and it would be based on the weakest link in the chain. Seem to have Baker just fallen back a bit there. He'll have to be careful he doesn't lose the slip on these guys. It's only 0.4 back. No, he's coming back already.
Yeah. What you tend to find with this race and from the races we've had this week in practice is that the domino effect when you do have a bump buddy, you drop quite far back and then you come steaming up, punt them again, and off they go again. And yeah, that gap does seem like it gets large and they'll go off your car radar, but they come flying back very quickly.
And here comes Troy right up there again. So looking at this, how many laps less do you think Palmer might have? Is he going to be pitting like 2 laps before these guys do, you reckon?
He's got just under a quarter a tank, so I think he'll probably get another 3 at the most. Possibly 2, but it'll be interesting to see what he does, because once he drops off, obviously the other guys are probably going to do an extra lap and he's going to be in a bit of world of hurt, might have to drop back to the next back behind with Straw and Winnie and the guys. So yeah, definitely be interesting.
Yeah, he's very lucky that he may well be able to pick up Evil One or Bozza at the back there, or even Macca as he comes out the pits, find himself on his own, and he'd do well if he does come out there and he's too far ahead of him just to drop back and pick him up, because you'll soon make up the time over those next 10 or 20 laps. So I don't think he'll get penalised too much time-wise. It should work out pretty well.
Well, I found the AMG was listed about 1.5 to 1.8 seconds a lap, depending on whether you're in slipstream or you're not. Obviously, once you're not, you're losing that much time every lap. Sometimes it pays to drop back that 2 or 3 seconds to let someone else try and help you along, because otherwise you are in a world of hurt, and I found that out in practice all week. So
yeah, so
hopefully you help me out tonight, having.
Yes, we'll certainly be working hard to try and get that team win tonight, most team points, and get us climbing up that ladder. Personally, on this race, I'd love to see Soulslayer get the win. Reason being, he's in the Corvette here, Chevrolet Corvette, and in real life, the most wins by a manufacturer is Chevrolet with 24. So it'd be nice if he keeps that tradition going for Chevrolet.
Palmer's now flashing red.
Will this be interesting? He's got a 9-second gap back to the group with Eustrolic leading. Almost going to be 10 seconds by the time he pits, I reckon. Is he going to get 2 laps out of, or 1 lap out of the tank when it's flashing?
Going in now. There's a heap of lads going in. Oh no! Palmer undecided. And
stayed out.
He went to go in, and then he ended up crossing out by himself. So he may even get a penalty here. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, disaster there. He's been hung out to dry, and yeah, the disadvantage of being in front, I suppose. You want to be the first one in and get everyone to follow you in, but yeah, they've hung him out to dry.
I tell you what, Troy's going to jump these boys too. He's got a bit more fuel left in that tank, so he'll come out ahead of the TDR boys. Where are we?
Yes.
Demonstrates it there. Straw and they have made up just over a second, and Palmer's hadn't even finished his lap.
And for some reason,
going in now.
Troy didn't. So we'll sit on with Spoke, who's out in the lead.
Straw's in the pits. He's coming as well.
See where Palmer comes out compared to these boys. Better still, he was on with Troy, wasn't he? Did Troy have an incident? Because he's dropped right back. Troy's dropped right off.
He may have got a penalty for the way he entered into the pits.
Yep.
Because it was very last minute.
Yeah, trying to follow what the other guys do to keep up with them.
And Palmer's exiting the pits now, and he's... Oh, Troy's passed.
So, yeah, looking at the way this is going, Winnie's still out in front, but here they come in now. Soul Slayer's in anyway. It's looking
Winnie's
like
still got a...
Yep.
Winnie's still got a fair bit of fuel left there. He could probably do another 2 laps. So, totally different strategy what he's been doing.
Maybe he's running a different fuel map. That's why it's dropped back a fair bit, but he's just going for the extra length.
Yeah, he could have been sitting there being pushed along on fuel map 3 or 4 and just conserving some fuel and getting an extra lap or 2. I know the Mercedes gets 19, and that's fuel map 1, so that's standard for us.
Yeah, I would have thought that going for the extra length was something Tombo was going to do in the Viagra car, but hey, that's a Div 1 thing.
Yes, couldn't find the right sponsor for that car.
So he's Winnie's still going. He's got is he losing a bit of ground to the boys?
20.
Yep. He's definitely going for the full stretch there.
So
but I can see that time coming down very quickly. So depending on what his pit loss is going to be. Do we know what the pit loss is here, fellas?
Roughly 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So he'll come out about 10 seconds behind those boys, which is going to be around just behind Palmer, by the look of it.
Yeah, should pick him up around there between Palmer and Straw. If he doesn't get in the slip with Palmer, then he'll hop in with Straw.
He's in now. We'll jump on with Palmer and see where he comes out. See how bad my maths is. It didn't work with Troy. He's got Euthrolic, unfortunately 6 seconds behind and still dropping back. So the Jag has a bit over, I can't remember what Eutholic's in, is the Mazda.
Winnie's on the way out now.
And he's, come out a fair way behind Palmer actually. 5 seconds still dropping. By the end it's going to be 6. Yep. And he's come out into traffic too, so he's actually come in behind Euthrolic. So he's right in the middle of the pack he was in before. Going the extra has, unfortunately, achieved not much for him. Or Soul sticks to the inside. Soul. Yep.
Nice move.
And that's a nice little pack we've got going now. They're all up and down trying to find the line.
They should catch Palmer pretty easy if they're all working together, I'd imagine. Surely he's not going to pull away from that group.
In all honesty, I think all 5 of them might team up here and just keep going and try and push the group. No, Macca stayed out of the way.
This is Evil's chance to jump on the back of him.
A good opportunity for Evil to try and make some ground here if he wanted to, but he's stayed clear at the top and just cruise him round. I hope he hasn't got his hazards on and left it on autopilot. The temptation would be real.
Especially in that thing. I still have PTSD from driving that a few seasons ago in GT Sport.
Oh dear.
TDR boys are definitely driving away very nicely. You'd have to be proud of them. Dodge there, 10-second lead.
Yeah,
to
look,
the next fourth.
They've put a little bit of effort into working this one out, and it looks like they're coming in to lap here, are they?
Yeah, lapping Bozza.
So if Bozza can jump on the end of these guys, it's going to be saving grace. Where is he in the list?
He's tucked in behind.
Yeah, it'll keep him
behind
ahead.
there. He's trying to get there.
Back in ninth.
So Dodgy.
Yep, go.
So Dodgy, when you do get lapped here, what's your opinion on the blue flag situation? Because if you hold your racing line and these guys are good racers, they should just go around you, shouldn't they? Or is it the gentleman's agreement just to pull out and get out of the way?
Well, I believe the wheel-to-wheel regs, rules and regs ask you to move out of the way. While there is a race line argument, the rules do say under blue flag, when it's safe to do so, politely move out of the way and let them pass. So you got to go by the wheel-to-wheel rules and regs. So I think that's exactly what he did. And he hasn't stayed in that slip at all, unfortunately. He's dropped back the fairway from them already. That poor Porsche is having a hard time of it.
And certainly Troy's sticking behind the McLaren boys there.
It's quite interesting. Soul Slayers made that gap from 6 seconds back to 3 and nearly caught up to Palmer. So
I think that might be Maccajack behind the TDR boys at the moment in the Genesis.
Oh, yes.
Yep,
true.
sure
Yes. Beg pardon?
Evil has left the room.
Evil one dropped out. That's unfortunate. It is
Straw winning.
Sorry, we're on to Straw now. Yep.
Yeah, Straw, Winnie and Soul Slayer working together, just closing that down. Coming down quite quick now towards Palmer. And Palmer's out there on his own at the moment. So
well, we're pretty much a third of the way through the race, so it's actually, it has gone pretty quick, the third through the race. So for going around and around in circles and watching these cars trying to bump, I've been shocked at how quickly the race has gone. It's interesting to see how it's all unfolding between the big donks and the ones you would have thought. It seems to be the opposite. What I thought was going to be quick isn't, and what I thought was going to be slow is blitzing it. So it's really weird how all these cars are bopped out.
I quite like that livery on Soul Slayers. I think he's put a bit of effort into that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very nice.
I think that one may actually be a GIMP special, that one.
Okay.
So are the 3 TDR boys. They're GIMP specials as well. And I'm pretty sure it is a replica as well of an actual NASCAR livery. So the boys actually have a 17.5 second lead at the moment over Soul Slayer. So honestly, if I was the TDR boys, and they seem to be, I'd just be lifting that gas just a little, not getting too close. just cruising around as you go. And if it's, gets that back down to about 12 seconds, then start worrying about speeding up again.
Did anyone see what's happened to Palmer? I think there's a glitch. He's gone from being in 4th position and jumped behind these boys without a tag, so I think there might be a bit of a glitch in Sony today.
Well, that's no good at all. I don't know if that Fanatec glitch is still active, and I don't know if Palmer uses Fanatec, but that was there for the last couple of weeks, where Fanatec drivers would just lose a second and a half out of nowhere and just disappear and appear a second and a half behind the point they were at. So I hope that's not happening to him.
Yeah, certainly this race and this format, I mean, the other races rely on it as well, but not as much as this one for perfect connection and perfect equipment, which is very hard to do the combination of at the moment between this game and all the mechanics we have with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, while we're just about to go into lap 30 before we get to more pit stops, I might just run a quick ad from one of our sponsors. We'll be right back. And there we go, yes, 180 Embroidery, a big supporter of Wheel to Wheel Racing League. They not only look after our merch, but also our team shirts. They do up our trophies and are a team sponsor as well. So all big thanks go out to those guys and everything they do for us. What did we miss while the ad was on, fellas? Anything?
No, nothing major, but there is a big difference in some fuel there. Spokes down to nearly a quarter of a tank. All you TDR boys up the front are about the same. And then when you go to Winnie's still got, just over half a tank. So I know he came in a bit later, but he obviously is still using that fuel saving. So interesting to see how he uses it to his advantage.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Winnie is 20 seconds behind. So if he's doing that, you're going to have to think he's only going to have one more pit stop. Ooh, when did he pit? About 22? So
around 21.
No, he's still going to have two more pit stops.
20,
so
21.
I don't know what that's achieving. Only getting an extra 3 laps.
Yeah, at the end of the day, from the practice this week in that Mercedes, I can tell you that you have to do a free stopper. Even if you roll around on fuel map 5 or 6, you really can't do a 2-stopper. The best you can hope for is that fuel saving will still save you a few seconds in your final pit stop, which could be crucial.
Absolutely.
So look out for that towards the end on the final stops, which I would expect to be around laps 58 to 62. And certainly the way mine maps out this week in that Mercedes, it was lap 60 that I was in for a final stop. And that's a nice little train we got going now. Winnie, Soul Slayer, Palmer.
He's up high.
Straw. Yeah.
That's the problem on these corners too. Once you get out up high, it's so hard. You lose concentration trying to get back down. You can't see the driver below you. You've got to be really careful, and you've just got to be patient and go, well, I can't move back down until I can see the guy below me. I've got to relinquish this spot basically, because otherwise there will be catastrophe all over the track.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we don't have any carnage from this 5-car train we got going here. The Porsche has gone below. He's gone below the line, has he? But he's gone. He might find himself with a penalty for that.
He will lose. I don't know if he's got a penalty. Where is he? There he is. No, he's got away without a penalty, but I think he'll end up losing the bottom of that train if he's not careful.
No, he's
The
still
big
closing
question
back
is,
in.
Dodgy. The big question will be, out of the three boys, is there's team rules at the end if they're going to actually continue this break out the front.
Oh, look, the boys, I think they might have mentioned if that was to happen, what do we do? There's no team rules from me. You drive, you deserve everything you get.
Is it a classic TDR 3 wide finish across the line, mate?
Hey, look, if they were in a TDR livery, that would definitely be a photo for the ages. But we're not there yet either. It is a long way to go. We haven't even reached halfway. So we got a blue flag coming up on Bozza.
I just hit the wall and dropped behind Bozza.
Yep, and now he's the one giving Bozza the blue flag, and he's gone out around. And the way the Jag can just go out there and drive around the Porsche, that Porsche is definitely not having fun. I wonder if he's actually on a fuel map or something, because surely it's not that slow.
Oh, believe me, it is the other. Yes, it is. Oh, believe
all
me,
your boys
it's
are
that
in
Porsche.
pits.
And they're all on the same fuel. Look at that.
Wow. Be interesting to know how they manage that.
Anyone would think
Leapfrog
these guys
at
have
the
been practicing.
Yeah. In good old TDR fashion, leading the way in the examples of teamwork.
And Sol's gone in. That's a big move for Sol. How much fuel's he got in there? Oh, well, he had to. He had no choice. It's going to leave him a bit lonely when he goes out. Where are these other lads going to come out?
Palmer's still going for that one extra lap.
So Baker is 10 seconds behind the lead group, or behind Palmer, who's just off the lead group. So they're 12 seconds behind, which means they're going to have a jump of at least 17 or 18 seconds on the lead group once they go into the pits. But it looks like Troy... Is it Troy?
Changed tyres as well.
Yeah, I think... did anyone else change tyres yet?
Nah, only Sols so far.
Yeah, expect typically people would do it on their third stop and go to mediums, which is a requirement for this race, the hards and the mediums. No softs allowed, as we know. So
here comes Palmer out. Let's see where he's going to pull out. He seems to be rather lonesome up there, actually.
Oh, Solsla's coming up behind him, but he's too far back. So
Winnie stays out again. Doesn't follow him in.
As your Throlic's gone in.
Macca's in, Straw's in.
Oh, and there's Troy just come in. So, that's going to be quite a few laps in front. If Troy's gone in and he was right behind, these guys are almost going to end up lapping Troy by the end of it.
Correct. And Straw just changed tyres too, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, onto mediums, and you've got Macca in there as well. Macca's out first. Troy's going to be a fair way behind Macca, but Macca is right behind. Oh, that was close. Looks like you Throlic, actually. He's not as close as I was thinking, but hopefully he'll be able to pick up that space and get that slip. As Bozza's come in. So if we...
Yet again, Winnie's the only one still out there. I expect him to come in the next lap or two.
So he's doing... Yeah, he's still going to have to pit around 60 to 65 the way this is going. Even if he managed to stretch it out, he'd still have to pit before 70. So
yeah,
it's... I suppose he's just running it till empty. and saving on that fill at the end. He's got 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds on the boys. I think last time he went into the pits in front of him, he had 12 seconds on him, if I recall. So he's 4 seconds down on the last pit stop. So he has lost over that stint 4 seconds to the lead pack. It's still dropping rather quickly to Baker. So if he stays out there for another lap, he's going to be in the sixes.
Yeah, I'm certainly wondering if it's worth fuel savings at all, and just like your team, just hammer it with fuel map 1 and just go all the way around.
You guys aren't getting ideas for the race after this one, are you?
Oh,
definitely not.
No.
There you go. Winnie's in.
Heavens
He
no.
was in at the 7 mark, so he had 7 seconds on him.
He's got tyres out ready to go.
Yeah, his pit crew looking a bit worse for wear there.
Starting to get a bit dark around here. Unfortunately, we couldn't pause to see if we could spot the old SpaceX launch.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, keep your eyes peeled.
But the old Ferris wheel is lit up now.
Yeah, thanks NASA for the sunset. Very beautiful. If you think you see a bird in the background, it's actually a plane coming into land.
So you can see how these boys are definitely they're having a lift just before the corner so as not to bump each other in the corner. And then what that's doing out of the corner is giving them that big slingshot you were talking about earlier that gets them right up there again and taps the lead guy on the straight with a good boost of speed. So not trying to give you any hints there, boys.
We've made enough mistakes this week, mate.
I was going to say, by the sounds of it, you're going to need all the help you can get in the AMG.
So as we're just sort of cruising around here, just wonder if anyone can tell me when the first Daytona race was ran.
Not without
You
Google.
guys have any idea? Not without Google.
Not without Google.
Try 1959. It was won by Lee Petty.
59. Gee, I thought it would have been earlier than that.
Not at all. Yeah, 59. And I wonder who can tell me has the most race wins as a driver here.
I can't remember his name. Is it Richard Petty, I was thinking?
It is, with 7 between 1964 and 1981. Well done there.
What do they call? Is Richard Petty's nickname?
That I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I might have to use Google for that.
I'm not sure if I remember rightly, but it could be the King.
Yes, it is. Nicknamed the King as an American former stock car racing driver who raced from 1958 to 1992 in the former NASCAR Grand National and Winston Cup Series.
There you go. Thank you, Google.
Yep.
So, but yet the most embarrassing, and I'm not going to say it's embarrassing because Tombo will love me for it. The reason I know that is because of the movie Cars.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Because in the movie Cars, the old fella who was retiring that they were all trying to beat was the King, and it was voiced by Richard Petty.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Who says you can't learn from Disney? And also, moving on, who has the multiple winners? Say the manufacturer wins. Who do you reckon?
You've already told us. Yep.
Already told you. Who do you reckon second?
Oh, look, I hate to say it, but I might go Ford.
Yep, absolutely, with 17.
I don't hate to say
Camry
it.
would be
I'm a
last.
Ford man.
Camry don't even register.
Okay, what have we got here happening with Winnie? We've got Palmer. No, they're coming back. Winnie was half a second in front, but now those boys are coming back with a bit of slip. They have got a fairly big group there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Not sure they're all on the same lap though. Palmer's just jumped in front of Winnie. We've got a few on the outside, 2x2.
So just giving you a rundown from the back of the field up to the front. Troy's on lap 44, Bozza on 44, Mackajack on 44, Soulslayer 45, Straw on 45, and then the rest of the field right up to Palmer on 45, and then the front three are actually on 46 as we go around the track again.
So hold on, the TDR boys are a full lap in front of everyone else. Is that what you're telling me?
It does seem like it.
Oh my lord.
They're coming up. As you look on the radar there, as they're turning that corner to come on the home straight, that the cars in front of them are on the previous lap that they're just finishing. They're just flying. It is theirs to lose at the end of the day.
That's just amazing. I would not have thought those McLarens can do that.
No, so sorry to disappoint you, Dodgy, but from 7 up is all on the same lap.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Had you there, didn't I?
Poor old Tombo's going to be crying into his suit when he sees these McLarens out front.
Yep, he won't be liking this. I wonder if you could tell me who's got both most wins as both driver and owner. Who's won as a driver and owner at Daytona?
Cole Trickle, mate.
I've lost the name. I was thinking of a name. Nah, go for it.
The most is Richard Petty. He's had the most as both owner and driver.
See, I wasn't thinking him. There you go.
So, or actually, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt has done it as well. So
that's who I was thinking of, Earnhardt. Well, these boys, they seem to be in a groove at the moment. The Souls is, 30 seconds behind Baker, and then you drop back to Mackajack, so they're a minute 25 behind. Palmer is the last car on the lead lap, and he's 34 seconds behind. So we're on lap 43, 48, sorry. We're almost at the, what are we going to say, 2/3 mark? Almost 3/4 mark. So there's a good chance that I would say Palmer and possibly Winnie and that could drop back to a lap down. It just depends on how they go, whether there's any little shenanigans in any of these corners.
Yeah, I reckon we've got a good 10 laps yet before we see how it's finally going to pan out and how these pit stops have paid off or any fuel saving.
Well, we're looking, Palmer's got the fastest lap actually at a 49.3. If we have a look at Palmer's leaderboard, he's mainly in the 50s and 49s. With just a couple of 52s there. If we jump on with Brutal, their lap times aren't that different. They're really not.
Yeah, it's just all very, very close up there. As we see now, yeah, we've got a large formation going on. Got the usual pack at 4 with the McLaren boys at the front, but then moving back there, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars going down the straight there. Could get pretty choppy and messy there.
As Mackajack takes it up high. And they're all out of position, these guys too. You've got a couple of cars thrown in there that are a lap down, so they're jumping in while they can. I dare say it's all going to change with the pit stop, because I'd imagine these guys are on a bit of a different fuel load at the moment.
Yeah, so, Straw's got midway between a quarter and half a tank, and then as we go back to Winnie, he's over half a tank, and then Soul Slayer on well and truly under a quarter tank, and yeah, it's just significant differences with the fuel there, which is going to play big games in the final pit stop.
Soul will nearly actually have to pit an additional time too, the way he's going. He's only really going to get 1, maybe 2 laps, leaving 20 laps to go, and there's no way he'll be able to do that with what he's shown so far. So
I tell you what's hard here. I think Mackajack's been shown a blue flag, and Bozza is being shown a blue flag for Troy. No, not Troy. For someone who's coming up behind, it's hard to tell. Oh, now the blue flags are gone. No, they're still there. I don't know how the blue flags are working with these guys racing in that pack, because yeah, they're racing fine in the pack, so it's a bit tricky. I think the 2 guys with the blue flags have jumped to the back of it anyway.
Yeah, I think the stewards have had a few too many beers here. They need to get those flags reined in a bit.
Okay, well, what I might do is I've got another ad to run at the moment, so we'll just dip over and have another look at one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. And there we are, AMS Excavations, a long-time supporter of Wheel to Wheel. They've been a team sponsor for, I think it's about 3 or 4 seasons now, and still going strong. So a big shout out to those guys in Sydney as we see Mackajack come into the pits. What did we miss? Anything else?
Not from the look of it. We're still as we were. Palmer's cottoned onto the back of Bozza here. Don't know if he's going to work with him to try and gain some additional time now.
Oh, and the TDR boys are all in together again.
Big question, can your McLarens do 18 laps on a tank of fuel?
I believe they can. I think.
They've definitely got enough time up their sleeve to fuel map back a bit and let the pack catch them, but...
to tell you the truth, like I said, I have not been on track really this week, so I'm not sure. But hey, they've been practicing, so I reckon there'd be a very good chance that they can. As Euthrolic comes through, Winnie. Interesting.
He can do 18 laps.
Yes, we know that for sure. He'll be on
he's going to have
one.
A short fuel, so it'll be interesting to see where Winnie comes out. But the TDR boys are already back out.
Yeah, he's going to be too late to pick up these guys, I think. They're coming past.
Where's Palmer?
Palmer's up there behind
That sounded
Bozza.
bad.
They're letting the TDR boys through, which is not easy on a corner with everyone bouncing around.
Now it's just a question whether Soul Slayer wants to tap the back of Winnie and work with him or just drive on by.
And who was that? Euthrolic's in and Palmer's gone in too. No wonder he was letting them by. He was dead empty. So it'll be interesting to, well, I was going to say have these boys backed off, and there goes Spoke pumping out a purple sector, so
Straw's out now. Palmer coming up. No, he's still in. He's going to be hung out to dry. Oh, he could pick up one of the boys that are coming past now.
So if this is coming out of the last changes, they've got a good 28 seconds, almost 29, there it is, on Frolic, who has got another 2 seconds back to Winnie. That's a little 3-car group back there with Winnie, Soul, and it looks like Maccajack. So those guys should catch Frolic. And then I think it'll be a 4-way push from those guys to try and see if they can eat into that 30-second lead of the TDR boys.
Yeah, 30-second lead over, 16 laps? They've got to be pushing 2 seconds. 2 seconds a lap?
Like you said, it depends if they have to drop their fuel map, doesn't it, to make the 18 laps?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. So, Dodgy, in terms of Team Dodgy Racing, is this a historical first 1-2-3?
Yeah, I'm going to say definitely. We haven't had a 1-2-3 before in the trophy room. So, yeah, that's going to make for a big night of celebrations for these lads, let me tell you.
Yeah, I expect you might be giving them some big rewards there.
Oh, look, I'm sure we'll sort something out. You know where you've been, Havoc. You've been there before. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. As we say, one of the best teams in Will to Will.
Oh, do we? I'll claim that. Why not?
Yep.
Not the most wins, not the fastest, but geez, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Okay, so you're frolicking those 3 frolicking along behind him. They've all caught up now, and they've all jumped onto this 4-car train. So you've got Frolic, Winnie, Souls, and Maccajack making a push to the end. The only thing is Maccajack is actually out of sync, so he must be a lap down. So I'm going to say Palmer in 7th is the last on the lead lap. Okay, back up front. These boys, they're catching up to Troy. So Troy's already a lap down. So does this mean he's going to be 2 laps down? Surely not.
Believe so. They've passed him before. Unless the pit stop, they gained again and then he's come back in.
Well,
Troy's on lap 58. Yeah, that would be 2 laps. Leader's on lap 60. Troy's on lap 58.
Well, he's got Baker Boy back there. Baker seems to be dropping back a little bit. I don't know if he backed off a little bit too much. No, here he comes. He just grabbed that slip again. Seems to be another car. I'm seeing a shadow up ahead of him as well. Yep, there's one up there. One off by him. All these little lonesome, or is it a group? Let me see if I can find them. Who are they? Here we are. It's Palmer. So Palmer and Bozza are not far ahead of these guys at all.
Wow, that's hammering some. That's good.
But the funny thing is, I thought Palmer and Bozza were further up. I don't know how Palmer's dropped back so far. I understand the Porsche being back there, unless Palmer's had a few more of those 1.5 second glitches and it's pushed him all the way back. But they seem to be keeping with each other in slip at the moment. But they are dropping a hell of a lot. I can see that number coming down so much just watching it. So I don't think... I reckon these boys will catch them by the end of the race. I don't think it's going to stay where it is. Watching the way Bozza just gave Palmer a tap, something tells me Bozza must be on a lesser fuel map, because he passed the Porsche earlier on like it was standing still, and now the Porsche is giving him taps galore. So I'm thinking that Bozza has had to turn the fuel map down to try and finish the last 18 laps. Maybe the Jag doesn't get 18 laps.
I'm still surprised we haven't had no carnage. That's a good credit to the boys for managing to keep that nice and smooth all the way through, despite any glitching.
Save it for your race later.
Yes.
It's more fun if you can join in, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That yellow line.
Okay, let's jump up and have a look. Frolic and the boys have dropped to almost 33 seconds behind. Troy has managed to stay on the backside of Baker. So these lads in the McLarens, they're not that far. Every time they go around a corner, I can see a glimpse of Bozza. They're getting so close to Bozza and Palmer now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when the three McLarens try to make their way past, and see if Troy manages to get past as well.
Seems like everyone's on around half a tank of fuel. We've got 10 laps to go. So this is it. Home run.
So scary watching this.
Certainly, like you were saying, we expected this to be long and quiet, but it's edge of your seat stuff.
This is where all dreams may come to an end, mate, if they have a bit of a coming together here, Dodge.
Yep, Palmer's gone
Not
out.
that I'm hoping for that, but...
Careful what you wish for. So Palmer's stayed out.
Done well.
I did see Bozza, I think, must have gone into auto drive for a bit there just to let him pass. So I thought his hazard lights came on. But no, clean as. I'm sure those boys were sweating a couple of bullets then too. And Baker has
Baker
now
boy
taken
just got the fastest lap.
Yeah, look at that. 49.0.
It's pretty
Might
quick.
even see a 48. As these fuels drop down.
Could do. They'd have to get that on and post that on Discord really quick to make everyone else cry.
Yeah.
He's pretty good for a bloke that looks like he's 70 years old with his grey hair, but seems to race pretty well.
Yes, true territorial
You'll love me for
fashion.
that
I
comment.
did find him sleeping under a tree, so yeah, it's had to have a nana nap, also a poppy nap during the day. But I found
So
him.
you trying to tell me he's the fastest silver fox in the east?
Oh, he's
Could
out of
be.
the north. He's not in the east.
Is that the north?
Oh, so north then. Fastest
Yeah.
silver fox in the north. Might have to be his new driver name.
And allegedly bakes a mean donut.
Wow.
I'll have to get up to the NT to find out.
Well, let us know when you're there. Send us a few. Could be the new Krispy Kremes.
Oh, these boys are still going at it hammer and tong. They don't seem to be knocking back. They haven't knocked the fuel map back at all. I'm looking at Spoke's totem, and he's done the last 3 laps as 49s. So they must be confident that they can stretch this out to 18, or they're just getting that bit extra in front to knock it back for the last few laps maybe. They look like they've got 6 laps of fuel left in that car at all.
Hell yeah,
Still
I think they've got
made
it
5
spot
seconds.
on. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they've got, it's from that pack to straw, they've got 36 seconds. They can do whatever they like to make it. It's just up to these guys who's going to win it.
Don't tell them that. They'll open the bar and start partying now. On that note, speaking of a party, we might just jump on to one more ad from one of our great sponsors in Hybrid Ag. Here we go. And then again, we might not. There seems to be a glitch with the Hybrid Ag ad, so unfortunately we won't be able to run those guys' ads tonight. But Hybrid Ag, they've been a sponsor of Wheel to Wheel now for, again, a team sponsor the last couple of seasons. And they're actually our Hot Lap sponsor this season as well. So jump on weekends. You'll find we're doing Hot Laps and what do we call them? A tutorial basically on how to attack the track of the week. So check us out for the Hybrid Ag Hot Lap, usually out on Friday or Saturday nights before the big day.
Just on that note there, Dodgy, Judah from Hybrid Ag will actually be looking to join us next week to actually jump into E-League and have a bit of a run. So I've had a chat to him today, and he's very keen to jump in and have a run with the boys. Well,
I hate to say it and I hate to scare him away, but I know it won't, but it's about bloody time. I've only been asking for it for 2.5 seasons now. So I'm going to be glad to see him here.
It'll be good.
Okay, so how are we looking? They've stretched their lead out to 37. It's still, just creeping out ever so slightly. We got 4 laps left. I reckon they're going to be in the close to the 40 mark by the time this is over. 40 seconds in front. Troy has managed to stick behind them still. He's still wringing the neck of that B. That poor little B has been buzzing for all these laps so far. I've got to give you Throlic, that Superflow 46 livery he's got stands out like nothing else. It's got to be one of the better liveries of the night for being on point for standing out. And he's got Winnie
so the
behind
big question
him.
I think would be, is these guys in 4th, 5th, 6th, do you actually try and get the lead before the last lap, or do you wait for the last lap, or what would your view be, Dodge?
Look, I think you're going to have to just stay behind, because some cars are completely different here. Some cars can take the slip and use a bit of a slingshot, and some come out from behind the slip and hit a brick wall. So it all depends on what car you've got as to where you want to be. If your car is a brick wall, then you want to make the most of any mistake by the driver in front from now on, and try and get in front of it if you want to finish in front of it. But if you're one of the cars that can get out of the slip and slingshot, then I'd probably wait till the last lap and, first corner of the last lap, try and start using that slingshot to get in the lead.
Straws just started flashing red with 2 laps to go, so...
Well, Brewell's just been given the lead by Broken. Broken went high and let Brewell through. And now Baker's looking to make a move. They might be changing the team order there. If they've got any sense on this final lap, as they come across the finishing line, they'll go 3 abreast for the perfect picture.
Well, look, I have no doubt these boys are all in chat together, and it's looking like they might have dropped Troy there for a bit too. Yeah, so they'll finish it however they see fit in the chat. But, commendations to them all. It has been a great effort by those 3. They've really pulled it off tonight.
As they're coming around the final bend for the last time, heading on to the home straight. Brutal, Broken, Baker. Are we going to see a change? Broken's pushing Baker out wide, but Baker's overtaken Broken. They're trying to do the 3 wide, but they've done it too late. Timed it wrong, but it's still a beautiful photo finish there.
Absolutely. Back to you, Throlic. We've already had Palmer and Troy drop out because they were laps down. So you Throlic and Winnie. They were ended up 36 seconds behind.
Winnie's still trying to make the move. Your Frolic here. He's having a look.
This
He's
could
gone
end
inside.
Thought there was going to be a tap then.
He's going to go for it.
He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Oh no! Your Throlic's just.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
just harsh, and it's finishing like that.
Poor lad.
That's hard luck.
My
So
goodness.
for all in his fuel saving and that, he has ended up in 4th, which is a great spot for that AMG. I know it was doing it tough. Wow.
Doing it. So, yeah.
Okay, so what do we got for a final? Run us through it, Brutal. Sorry, Havoc. I was looking at Brutal's name.
So, Brutal in front with the win. Baker Boy in 2nd. Broken in 3rd. Winnie in 4th. Straw in 5th. Palmer in 6th. Soulslayer in 7th. Troy in 8th. And Maccajack in 9th. And Bozza bringing up the rear there in 10th.
Yeah, Bozza a whole 2 minutes down on that one. I think I'd be trying to look for an engine swap in that Porsche by the look of it. It's hasn't done him any favours tonight. Looking at CP Autosport or Motorsport, I can't remember which one it is. I'm sorry, guys, at CP. Yeah, it's going to be a hard stretch for those fellas up there in Div 1 and Div 2 tonight. So, but if they're working together, they might get there. How are you guys looking forward to your race? How do you think you're going to go with your AMGs now you've seen this one?
I think we should just hammer it and take the lead that your boys have just shown and just team up all 3 of us and just stay as a group and don't let anyone in and just go for it.
See, I thought you were going to say hammer it and just take out the leaders then. But anyway.
No, I only do that in Division 1.
Yeah, do that in practice.
Okay, boys. Well, on that note, Havoc, I will say thank you to you. Almonds, I think you had a very easy night for losing your virginity on comms for streams. We're going to have to get you back for a trickier track. Fellas, thank you very much. A big shout out to all our sponsors, especially our season sponsor for Wheel to Wheel, which is Per Mobile. They have been a great support. They're naming sponsors for this season and are really looking out after everyone here at Wheel to Wheel. On that note, I say congratulations to Brutal Spoke and the old Silver Fox himself, Baker, doing a 1, 2, 3 for TDR, Team Dodgy Racing. And we will sign off there all. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of the week.